Let's talk about it. Should you hold your child back a year for basketball? This is called reclassification, and it's one of the most debated moves in youth sports. Reclassification means a player repeats a grade instead of moving up. It's usually for three reasons: athletic, academic, or developmental. It's also called holding your child back a year. Why do families do it? Athletically, it gives the child more time to grow, more opportunity to get reps, and more exposure. Academically, it can help your child raise their grades and also get NCAA eligibility lined up. Confidence, being a year older can definitely boost that on the court and also increase your leadership, especially if you're dominating. A few pros of reclassification: physical development. As I mentioned, extra time to grow. In that 1 year, you might get bigger, you might get taller, you might get stronger, faster, quicker. You also have more opportunity for skill development. 365 days to work on your skills, ball handling, finishing, shots. Imagine how many shots you can get up in a year if you really dedicated and put focus into it every single day. Also, academically now, you can get a reset. It gives you an opportunity to raise your grades. Also, boost your NCAA eligibility. Now, if you're reclassifying and you know that you're doing it for academic purposes, you could put more of a focus into that area. Last, leadership. If you're now an older player on the court, it should give you more minutes. It should give you an increased role. Now, that should definitely boost your confidence and have you feeling good while you're on the court. I've seen a few players here locally in Albuquerque who have reclassified, who it's paid off for, who now they're a little bit more physical, a little bit more mature than the competition that they play against. And it has paid off, even with the scholarship. So, yes, there are a lot of pros to reclassifying. But hey, let's go to the cons, because with every good thing comes a bad. Now, the cons. Let's talk about it. Social stigma. Some people are going to see it as gaming the system. If you do it, especially maybe like in the fifth grade or even in the eighth grade, as you're playing in those local AAU tournaments on the weekends and your reclassified kid is dominating, you are going to hear the other parents in the crowd. You are going to hear the other coaches of the other teams. What grade is that child at? How old is that child? And they might even challenge that child because they're dominating in the age group that they are in. So there is going to be that stigma and it is going to happen. Next, there's only a short-term only advantage to this because let's be honest, you can only reclassify before the ninth grade. So middle school, high school, you'll have that advantage. But once you get to college, I could tell you firsthand, I was an 18-year-old freshman with a 24-year-old senior teammate, 6-year gap, and we're expected to compete on the same level. So that 1 or 2 year gap advantage you think you're getting when you reclassify, once you get to college, it's out the window. There's going to be pressure. You're going to be expected to dominate. Not only are you going to expect yourself to dominate because you're now older than everybody else, your parents are going to expect you to dominate. Probably your peers are going to expect you to dominate. And when you don't, that can definitely lead to some mental challenges. So just be prepared for that pressure because it's coming if you reclassify. Lastly, the cost. Another 365 days of tuition, of equipment, tournament fees, travel fees, all those things that you're still going to have to pay for. So if you're not taking advantage of this reclassified year, it could all be a waste. And that's one example that I've seen. I've seen it all the time. This is where it can go wrong. You reclassify, now you're playing the grade below, you're dominating, and you let that get to your head. Now you think you're actually better than what you are because you're dominating players that are younger than you. And as I said earlier, once you get to college, now you're the young one, or now everyone is your same age, or even a little bit older. So you better be ready. The bottom line, reclass, it can be a smart move for late bloomers or kids who need an academic reset. But it is risky if you're already athletic, but you haven't developed your skill or your IQ. At the end of the day, it's not a magic bullet. Work ethic is what matters most. Thanks for tuning in. I got a question for you. Would you reclass your kid? Drop a comment or DM me your thoughts. Parents, coaches, let's have this real conversation. Coach Jules, I Will Rise Media. I'll catch you later.